Welcome back to the channel, friends and fellow citizens. Thank you for the visit. Mac here with the second video of For those of you who may be jumping in on the second video, let's recap the first. The first video was merely an introduction or an orientation. But we did discover a few things, such as 1, what the term legislative intent means. 2, who should be knowledgeable of this. 3, that the first step in discovering legislative intent is knowing the difference between two types of words. I also said that there would be a few American documents on my website, which most folks would not be familiar. Just to name a couple of my favorites and possibly the most important are the Declaration of Rights, the Declarations and Resolves, the Petition to the King, the Declaration of Causes and Necessity of Taking Up Arms, along with the more commonly known documents such as the Declaration of Independence and Articles of Confederation and Perpetual Union. All of these documents accurately depict the events leading up to the Revolutionary War and demonstrate how the founders of this nation hoped future generations would conduct themselves when confronted with tyranny. Then I closed the previous video with a question, the answer to which will be the primary subject of this video. Before we get to that question, let's take a peek at some of the most frequently asked questions and comments from the last video, or I should say the first video. As there have been no comments or questions presented below or on the website, I will address a question presented in person by a local friend. He asked about how many more types of words there are other than the ones we're about to discuss, and why they're not being discussed in this video. Well, off the top of my head, I can think of one other type of word we should be able to identify rather quickly, and that is the restrictive word or phrase. As for the reasons for not discussing restrictive words in this video, well, first, I'm trying to keep these videos as brief as I can. Second, I'm trying to focus on one subject at a time. Third, restrictive words will be covered in a future video. And fourth, we must start from the start. I will say this though, if you were to look at the following documents as transcribed on my website, number 16, the Articles of Confederation and Perpetual Union, number 21, the U.S. Constitution, number 22, the Bill of Rights, and number 23, Amendments 11 through 27, you will notice that the text is in different colors. The standard color, of course, is black, and the black text has no particular meaning. Green text represents either an established procedure or a power which has been granted. Red text represents restrictive words and phrases. I may not have gotten all of the restrictive words and phrases, but you can and will be able to spot them once you see them represented in colors. Until we discuss that subject, we'll see you next time. Now for the closing question from the previous video, which is, can you name two types of words with which a person must be familiar when interpreting our Constitution or any written laws? The answer to this question is general words and specific words. Of course, there are other words which must be understood, but let's start at the beginning. Law is a language all its own, and certain rules must be understood before attempting to interpret the text of any given law. The most fundamental of these rules is that the reader of any given law must know the difference between general and specific words. To some people, this subject may seem rather simplistic, but there are many thousands of people out there who have suffered dire consequences, either because they didn't know, or an entire jury didn't know these things, or both. In either case, there are millions of people who do not know the difference between general and specific words, and it is this lack of understanding which leads to catastrophic misinterpretations of the law. This lack of understanding can also be a playground for less than honorable elected or appointed servants who do understand these things. Our Constitution contains far more specific words than general words. In fact, there aren't many general words at all. And the best example of a clause in which both specific and general words are used appears in the third paragraph of Article 1, Section 3. If vacancies happen by resignation or otherwise, During the recess of the legislature of any state, the executive thereof may make temporary appointments until the next meeting of the legislature, which shall then fill such vacancies. Did you spot either the general or the specific words, or both? Well, here's a hint. When these two words are compared, they are as different from one another as night is today. If your answer was that the word may is a general word and that the word shall is specific, you'd be correct. The word may is a little vague. This person may do something, or they may not. There's an option. The word shall, on the other hand, is as specific as any word can be. There's not an option. This person or group of people shall do whatever is written in the text. I can further simplify the difference between general and specific words by demonstrating examples of each that are common in both criminal and civil law. Between the words vehicle and automobile, which is the general and which is the specific word? If your answer was that vehicle is a general word and automobile is a specific word, you'd be correct. But let me throw you a curve. Between the words automobile and Corvette, which is which? If your answer is that the word automobile is a general word and Corvette is specific, pat yourself on the back, you got it again. In this example, automobile became a general word, and Corvette would be, of course, very specific. How can the word automobile be a specific word in one instance and a general word in another? The answer is context, which is defined as the circumstances or settings in which a word appears. I think you have a pretty good idea of the difference between general words, specific words, and context, don't you? Now for the closing question. Should you encounter general or unclear words while reading any given law or statute, there are certain rules which are designed to help you clarify those words and interpret the law properly. Can you tell me what these rules are called? As always, leave your comments and questions in the comment section below. And please take the time to like, subscribe, enable notifications for future videos, and share these videos with your friend by clicking the appropriate buttons below. Especially first-time viewers, then watch these videos from the beginning. Don't forget to visit understandingourconstitution.cloud and download the transcribed documents used to support these videos. They're free. Once again, friends and fellow citizens, thank you for the visit, and I look forward to your return to